I say which restaurants may be serving you cheap fish instead of lobster? Restaurants be doing that? Are you serious? Really? Why? Why would they do that? That's so mean.
Celebrity chef and author Rocco DiSpirito loves lobster.
Lobster roll, the iconic American dish, should be all lobster.
You'd think what he's saying should be obvious. You order lobster, you get lobster, right? Not always. We tried out lobster dishes of every conceivable kind at 28 restaurants around the country. It may shock you to learn that in 35% of our samples, instead of lobster, we found cheap fish substitutes. At Red Lobster, the largest seafood chain in America, we tested the lobster bisque from 3 locations and scooped out the meat. Then we sent it off to a lab.
We do look at it carefully, but then the final answer is done by DNA analysis.
According to the lab, the lobster in one sample was actually Langostino. 2 others had a combination of Langostino and lobster.
So what is Langostino? This is a Langostino, and it looks nothing like a lobster. As a matter of fact, it's more closely related to the hermit crab and costs about half as much as lobster does per pound.
At the world-famous Nathan...
What the hell? All this time, there have been people that have been faking lobsters? Damn, that's brilliant and also mean at the same time.
In Coney Island, Brooklyn, the lobster salad sandwich we tested came back as this guy, whiting, a much cheaper fish that certainly doesn't look like lobster.
What the?
Rocco DiSpirito.
Why are they doing this? Why are they punishing people? Like, give us lobster. We're done eating the normal stuff. Give us lobster.
Says restaurants are under pressure to keep costs down, but that's still no excuse.
If you say seafood roll, then it's okay that you put some of this in there.
But you would call it seafood roll.
Exactly.
Not lobster roll.
I would make the distinction. Or you could say lobster and seafood roll. Okay. You definitely want your customers to know.
I'm Lisa Guerrero with Inside Edition.
At this restaurant called Get Hooked outside Tampa, the lobster in their lobster roll also came back as whiting.
Yes, people, I did not purposely rip the public off. Like
the owner says he makes his lobster rolls with a frozen mixture called Lobster Sensations that he buys from an outside vendor. It has lobster, but it's also filled with other cheaper fish like whiting and pollock.
Damn. I'm guessing lobsters are expensive, so everyone is like not. I'm guessing lobsters are expensive, so people are basically just not what's it called? Have no choice but to buy whitening and other stuff.
The issue is, on the menu, it doesn't say that there's any other fish except lobster in your lobster roll.
Okay, if you want to get technical, yes. You're absolutely
You want to get technical? What do you mean you want to get technical? There's no technicality. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's supposed to be only lobster, but there are other stuff there. What do you mean? Like I like how they always want to talk to her like she's wrong or something. Like she's just saying the truth. You said there's lobster, but there are other stuff like whitening fish and other seafood. So maybe you should announce that when you're serving it next time.
Manhattan's Little Italy is the go-to neighborhood for great seafood, but we wondered what was in the lobster ravioli. At Sophia's, our lab found no lobster, just, are you ready for this?
No.
Cheese.
Those guys are even worse. They didn't even put any seafood. Are you serious? Are these people serious? You're not gonna put actual. Oh my goodness! What a mean thing to do.
Tomorrow with Inside Edition. Hello.
Later. Look at her. Look at her face. She's smiling.
Guess he didn't want to talk to us about his lobster ravioli.
And what about Soup Man? That's the place made famous in the Seinfeld Soup Nazi episode.
No soup for you.
Oh yeah.
It's supposed to have the best soup in New York City. Guess what? Our test showed that the lobster bisque was loaded with the real thing, lobster.
No soup for you.
We spoke.
Oh, actual lobsters in the soup? Wow.
Spoke to actor Larry Thomas.
Wait, chill. Let me just go back again. The actual
Want to talk to us about
the actual restaurant that was in that place. That's it, right there. And they do that, and they did that stuff. Wow, that's interesting.
Is lobster ravioli.
And what about Soup Man? That's the place made famous in the Seinfeld Soup Nazi episode.
No soup for you.
It's supposed to have the best soup in New York City.
Really?
Guess what? Our test showed that the lobster bisque was
Well, they
loaded
call
with
bad
the
no soup
real
for
thing, lobster.
No soup for you.
We spoke to actor Larry Thomas, who played the so-called Soup Nazi.
Our soup can only be the best if we have the right real ingredients.
He's got that right.
Are you kidding me? That is so good.
Isn't it?
Nothing beats the real thing.
Really?
Now, Red Lobster.
Are you sure? Not even that cheese? That cheese looks good. That cheese looks good. Are you sure? Not even the cheese. Damn. It's interesting.
Lobster told us their lobster bisque can contain meat from Maine lobster, Langostino lobster, or a combination of both. As for Nathan's, they told us the main ingredient in their lobster salad is in fact lobster, but that it does include a healthy mix of lobster, pollock, and whiting. Experts say DNA testing is the only way to know for sure if you're getting real lobster, but they say if your meal is priced too low, that could be a red flag.
I mean, it does make sense. It would be a red flag. I mean, kind of does make sense. Just sad, man. That it's so sad, bro. So that means probably like a lot of people that have gone to, a lot of people that hardly go to like restaurants that sell seafood, when they order the lobster, they've never really eaten lobster ever. That's a possibility. That's crazy. They're just basically giving you the illusion that you're eating lobster. Wow, that's such an interesting topic. But well, peace.